it is a remarkable moment to see the easing of tensions between Iran and Saudi Arabia, because for a number of years, they have very much been in direct conflict as well as indirect conflict in other parts of the Middle East. And anything that can be done to reduce the kinds of violence that we see in Yemen, in Syria, Iraq, Lebanon, between Iran and Saudi Arabia directly is of benefit, not just to the people in the region, but also to the world. So from that perspective, that is helpful. Where this goes, what this means for the nuclear program, what this means for real decisions about whether or not to support Hezbollah, what happens with the Houthis, these are open questions that people in Washington are asking about. We have seen the Israelis and Palestinians now for decades engaged in peace discussions off and on, and the Oslo Accords as an example that never really led to the formation of a Palestinian state. And there's still tension there. So in the Middle East, it's always, not to sound cynical, but it's always difficult to imagine one agreement resolving everything. So what we now have to look for is the process. So now that there is an opening, now that there is an agreement to have an exchange of ambassadors, to have visits, that's the beginning of a very extensive process. And it's the process and the milestones and the goals of what should be achieved that will continue to be discussed over the coming years. But it's important to have a process, and I think that's what we should hope for most. I think that what we're witnessing now is the natural dynamics of a Middle East that no longer has an American military presence in heavy form in Iraq, Afghanistan, of course, a bit further to the east, but as well as in Syria. And this means that the region's countries are looking for ways to advance their interests. But what this doesn't mean is that they want the United States to disappear. There's nothing in this agreement that says that Saudi Arabia is no longer an ally of the United States, nor a partner with the United States on many issues. That is not happening. And so for people who are critical of this, it's understandable that this is a new dynamic, but this is a natural consequence where diplomatic arrangements are starting to rise to the top of the discussion now that the heavy American military presence is no longer in the region.